Yo, buenos dias. I just watched Alyse's interview, Raw Alignment, on the Bobby's Perspective channel, who is a now carnivore who was vegan for a year and a half, and he's been pretty intensely advocating for how unhealthy veganism is and how many benefits the carnivore diet has given him. Alyse is now, she was vegan for about 4.5 years, I think, and in the last few months she's been eating a low-carb, carnivore style diet, and they had a big interview. I have a lot to say about it. There's a lot of things that I do not agree with nutritionally and also philosophically, environmentally, that I'm going to address. I essentially watched the video, the whole thing, and then I made just like a bunch of points, which I have on my phone, and I'm just going to respond to those points. I'm not going to insert video clips from their video because I want to get it out as quick as possible, and they just posted it today. And I'm going to do this in one shot, and you're going to sound how intellectual and how good my vocabulary is and how I can think with my head without taking breaks, because one of the biggest criticisms Alyse had while she was on a plant-based diet is that in her videos she had so much brain fog without eating salmon and butter and things, which she's eating a lot of now, actually exclusively. She's not even really eating vegetables or fruits, which I'll get to in this video, and how this diet has improved her mental cognition a lot, and she's able to make videos with more clarity. But I'm going to show that 6.5 years on a low-fat vegan diet, I am able to do these things too without taking a bunch of jump cuts and stuff. And I want to preface here that this is honestly not a hate video. I love Alyse as a friend. We are good friends. We go back to 2014. We're still in communication all the time. This isn't a hate video. It's just that the carnivores and the keto movement and the ex-vegan movement has become so big in the last few months here on YouTube, and it's my responsibility as someone who's thriving on a vegan and plant-based diet for nutritional, ethical, and environmental reasons and performance. It's my responsibility to come out and just share my opinion on the things that they're advocating for, because I think a lot of it, it's not that it's not true, because I really trust them. Like, I trust Alyse. I mean, we'll get into it in this video, but she says she felt the benefits overnight after eating animal products, and at this point, I am open to the idea that our bodies are different, because she's not lying. She's just telling her experience, and I'm here to share my experience, because they're kind of painting veganism with a broad brush and saying that everyone could experience benefits from getting on this carnivore diet, and I'm just gonna address what they say in this video and share it. By the way, I also want to address, because some people have been in the comments, carnivores or meat eaters talking about and saying, I look so tired, why do you look so skinny? See a little quick body shot here. I'm on a little week-long bulk at my Airbnb. I'm usually even slightly leaner, but I'm doing a little bulk because there's a gym here, and sometimes when I take a week off the bike, it's nice to lift some weights, which I haven't done in like a year and a half or something. I'll just do calisthenics, push-ups and stuff, but this little town that I'm in has a gym, so I've had fun lifting for the last 2 days, that's all, and I'm gonna do it for the next 7 days before I leave. And I just want to preface, if you think I look tired, if you think I look skinny, go look at my channel. I am on month 20 of a trip where I am traveling with my dog, who is right there, a rescue vegan dog, by the way. Well, she's not vegan. She eats bones and meat when she finds it in the streets, but she eats 100% plant-based diet with me, and I've never purchased animal products for her, and I rescued her, and I'll tell you guys why I choose to give her a vegan diet and why it's ethical in my opinion. But I'm on a really intense trip. I push my body like no one else. I've biked from Alaska here to El Salvador, 10,000 miles over the last 20 months as a vegan, so I probably look a little tired and I probably look a little lean. It's because I don't live a normal life. It's not because I'm vegan. I'm pushing myself to crazy extents. And my dog does too, has crazy high energy, and we're playing fetch right now, which she demands to do all day, even though she can run about 20 kilometers a day on a plant-based diet. Okay, now let's go through the notes. Boom ba doom ba doom. No jump cuts. God damn it, where are they? Okay, here they are. So Alyse's video. First off, they talk about how my note is screwed digestion, eating high protein and cooked vegan food. So Alyse was high raw for a while, and she says in the video she felt pretty good eating raw foods, and then once she started implementing cooked foods like rice and beans and lentils into her diet, they talked about how their digestion just got so screwed up. Indigestion, pooping 15 times a day. And I'm just sharing my experience here. Ooh, I have to run to the run to my room real quick. I'm not even gonna cut. It's gonna take 2 seconds because my dog just heard something loud and she gets scared and wants to go inside. 1 second, I'll be back. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay, I'm coming back. Coming back. Okay, you'll be okay, Maggie. It wasn't that loud. So they talked about how cooked vegan food screwed their digestion. I eat a diet of a lot of fruit throughout the day, but I also eat pasta, I eat rice, I eat beans, I eat lentils, I eat bread, I eat tortillas, I eat vegan treats once in a while, like vegan cookies or something like that, and my digestion is amazing. I've eaten probably 2,000 calories so far today, and I have another 1,000 to go, and look at how flat my stomach is. I feel good. I have pooped twice today. I poop about 3 to 4 times a day, which for a primate I don't think is bad. Drew, another carnivore, in his latest video said that he, on a carnivore diet, sometimes poops twice a week or something like that, goes 5 days. Okay, if you think that's healthy, that's insane in my opinion, but who knows? I also need to preface, there's so many prefaces in this video, but it's important that this is not a hate video, which I said, and also this is me sharing just my experience and journey. I'm not saying it's exactly right or that there's any even science that I'm going to provide. I'm just saying when they say that cooked food completely screwed their digestion, and they like laughed in the video like, haha, yeah, like we know all these vegans are failing and your digestion has to be terrible if you're on a low-fat plant-based diet, whole foods. No, mine's amazing. I'm 6.5 years in vegan and I was vegetarian 5 years before that, and my digestion is awesome. I feel great. I feel light when I eat. They always talk about how they eat food and they feel light. I've eaten a ton of food and I feel light and high energy right now. So that's your experience, and I honor that it's your guys' experience, that your digestion felt terrible. My digestion just so happens to feel great. Next, Alyse admits to having like a crisis late into her teens with some drinking a lot and stuff like that, and veganism was like her escape for a change and for a better life. And I am convinced that with people who are kind of always obsessed with having like the next best thing, something to change and alter their lifestyle, that they try to do something extreme. And in the same way that she probably went vegan after just eating a normal standard American diet and drinking and stuff like that, maybe after a few years of being vegan, some of these people who never really connected to animal rights, which she claims later in the video she didn't, they like are inspired to try something else crazy and excessive. And maybe that's another one of the reasons for people going to carnivores. Like they get sick of just doing the vegan thing just as they were sick of eating a standard American diet, and they feel like in order to switch things up like crazy they need to make extreme and dramatic changes. Just a theory. And just a point that I wrote down. I'm not saying it's 100% the case, these are just theories. So she says she was always health motivated, but she got introduced to the ethics a little bit, but it was never the driving core. And that's a big thing that these carnivores have been saying, like that if you're ethically vegan, you just simply can't be taken seriously nutritionally because you're just, I'm in this, like they say, I'm in this brainwashed ethical state. So even though my digestion's probably terrible or I feel bad, I'm gonna stay vegan for the animals. It's not the case. I care so much about animal rights, and I think that if we are able to thrive and survive off of plants, there's a good reason why we should not contribute to factory farming. Later in this video, we'll get into the ethics of grass-fed and wild animals and stuff, and I have a nuanced opinion. I am a smart vegan. I am not a dogmatic vegan. I'm gonna get into even saying a diet that is more ethical than the vegan diet, because there is a diet that's more ethical, and the meat eaters are gonna like to hear this, and I'm gonna be honest about it. But it's not a standard American diet. It's not a whole food, meaning the whole food's the market. It's not a free-range Whole Foods branded carnivore diet. No, there's a very specific meat-eating diet that can be more ethical than veganism, but I'll get into that later. But yeah, she says she was never really into it for the ethics, and to be honest, all the science shows that eating a little bit of animal products nutritionally doesn't give you any benefits over a plant-based diet, meaning like 10 to 15% of calories according to the science, but these people are eating 100% of their calories from meat. So, but yeah, just a point to make that she was always health motivated, so it makes sense that she would fall off the vegan diet, although she struggled on a vegan diet with her digestion and brain fog and all these stuff, which I have not had experiences with, but she did. So I understand that she needed to make a change, because why would you do something that wasn't working for you? Okay, Alyse says she was never even vegan because she never cared about animal rights. She's always just been plant-based. And Bobby says that, okay, nourishing the diet, the right human diet is more important. Okay, so this is a really important point. He says, why should you care about animal rights if humans are meant to eat meat? I completely agree. If I thought that human beings were meant to eat animals and thrive off of animal products, I agree we should do it. But you have to acknowledge that the most mainstream, tested, clinical trials have shown, and like I don't have these things in my head because there's just so many names, but it's like American Institute of Nutrition or the American I don't have the exact names, but the biggest international and American nutritional and medical, what are they, systems, organizations, they do advocate for reducing processed meats because it's a carcinogen, for reducing red meat, period, and that a plant-based diet is safe for people of in all stages of life, pregnancy, childhood, infants, being old. And so these people are saying, because humans are not, like Bobby was saying, because humans are not supposed to be vegan and we're naturally supposed to eat animals, we shouldn't even care as much about the ethical reasons to not kill them for food, because why would we do something for the animals if it was hurting ourselves? And I agree, we shouldn't. If it comes out that it's a fact that humans thrive best on eating animals, I'll be the first to try to source as ethical animal products as possible, which is hunted animals or backyard chickens, and doing it yourself. Of course, factory farming, no one advocates for factory farming, but I guarantee you a huge impact of Alyse and Bobby and all this stuff is people are gonna hear this and they are gonna go eat factory farm meat and cheap meat. I watched Drew Morgan's recent video, another ex-vegan carnivore, who was eating meat just from the grocery store, $5 per pound, probably factory farmed. Maybe it was grass-fed, sorry Drew, not sure, but clearly people are gonna be eating factory farmed animal products as an impact of the ex-vegan and carnivore movement, which is devastating. So next. She visited Drew in Hawaii. This is when she was figuring out her diet. She wasn't succeeding. She visited Drew, who has been like the biggest advocate for all my personal vegan YouTuber friends to start eating animal products, has been because my friend Drew had this experience, and he's like a big carnivore advocate now on YouTube, and he's actually going to interview me on his YouTube channel soon. But she visited Drew in Hawaii, and she said she had brain fog, pressure building up in her head, this is Alyse, and felt terrible. I trust her that she felt that way. I'm just telling you, again, as a 6.5-year, high carb, pretty whole food, low fat vegan, I have never had a big headache or don't have even minor headaches ever. I have never had pressure in my head, and I feel amazing. Bobby had tons of cavities, migraines, and root canals. Haven't had those. I got my teeth checked a little while ago, and I hadn't gone to the dentist this is so embarrassing. I'm so good about my health, but this is like the one thing, I swear I'm not lying, that I've been shitty at is not going to the dentist. And I had 2 cavities after 6 years of being a high sugar vegan, which I got filled. And to be honest, I had just as many cavities before, like in terms of like in a 6-year period, as when I was a meat eater when I was younger growing up. So I think my teeth are fine, they don't hurt, and I don't get migraines. Okay, my camera's almost dying. I'm gonna try to go quick. Okay, they say that Freely and Vegan Gains were saying that Alyse was lying and she's been eating animal products for years. Do not put people like Freely and Vegan Gains, if they claim that, in the general vegan spectrum. I think that's ridiculous. Alyse is not lying. Yes, she lied that like she ate animal products a couple months before, but it's hard. She has a big social media platform. I understand it's complicated, but do not say that she's been eating animal products for years. She has not, guys. That's ridiculous. And those are stupid vegans if they think that. See, I'm trying to be like honest and nuanced. I'm not like all these crazy vegans. I'm just being honest. Bobby says vegans do not support. Oh yeah, okay, so he said vegans don't support their non-vegan friends, but they'll have cats who eat meat, and they're so hypocritical because the cats eat meat and they love the cats, but they like don't support their human friends doing it. Dude, when a cat goes and kills a mouse because it's in their instinct and it's just a wild mouse, for you to get mad at that cat would be the stupidest thing, because it's acting on a completely more intuitive, primal instinct versus a human going and buying a factory farmed animal product. And by the way, I have tons of meat eating friends who I love, and I talk to them and I support them. I don't tell them to go eat a bunch of meat. I hope they'd go vegan, but I still love my non-vegan friends. It's fine. I'm not a vegan who hates non-vegans. Alyse feeds her dog raw meat months before. As a vegan, when Alyse was vegan, she started feeding her dog raw meat. This is where I will say, if you feed your animals animal products, you're not vegan. If you're buying animal foods, regardless of who's eating it, if you're contributing to that system, I don't care if you're eating it or your dog. My dog is vegan. I feed her rice, lentils, steamed veggies, tortillas, peanut butter, plant oils, and things like that. And I happen to be kind of lucky because I honor that some animal products could be healthy for dogs. Although there's so much research and data that V-Dog, like mainstream vegan dog food brands, if my camera dies and there's a cut, it's just because my camera's dying and I'll charge it and go back to the video. It's not because I'm editing it. V-Dog is a mainstream vegan dog food brand if you don't want to make your food yourself, and it's kibble, and it has all the nutrients dogs need. I think actually one of the oldest living dogs ever was a blue heeler who is vegan. My dog's a blue heeler who's vegan. My friend Robert Cheek has a long-term old dog who's been vegan, and I just happen to be lucky that I live on the road and I live in Central America here cycling, and my dog eats tons of bones and eggs and meat that she finds on the road, and she's good. She's very healthy, but I feed her 100% vegan and have never purchased animal products for her ever. Psychedelic mushrooms told Bobby to eat eggs. Okay. Mushrooms, in my experience, I love mushrooms. I've had big mushroom experiences, I think 4 times in my life. They're very sacred. I only do it once every 2 years or so. And all my mushrooms experiences have only told me that we are all one, we are all connected, to be compassionate, to love, to not harm animals. So that's my experience with mushrooms. Next point is if you have to become so Bobby says that like a vegan diet is just not sustainable because if you have to like measure all your food and calories and nutrients and where you're getting everything, it's just not sustainable. Whereas if he says on the carnivore diet, you get all your nutrients and stuff effortlessly, just eat meat and you'll be good. Dude, I feel like that about veganism. I don't measure things, I don't look into nutrients, and I get my blood work once in a while and it's always perfect. I only take a B12 supplement and I just eat a diverse amount of foods and I don't measure things and my blood work's good and I cycle like a maniac and I'm pretty healthy and strong, and yeah, so you don't have to measure everything like crazy and be a doctor to be a vegan. You can effortlessly just eat potatoes and rice and beans and vegetables and fruits and try to eat high nutrient things like some green powder once in a while and chia seeds and flax seeds ground and stuff like that, and you're good. He said, why give your baby tons of supplements as a vegan instead of just some scrambled eggs, which would have all the nutrients that you would be giving your baby. That was one of his points he was saying, to why would you want your kid to be vegan if you have to give him a few supplements versus just give him some eggs and you'll get those nutrients there. Because there are tons of research, including a new one that VegMD is her Instagram, Dr. Michelle McMacken put out, where there was a massive comprehensive study that showed that eating eggs, even half an egg per day, and the more you eat, the worse it is, increased all levels of more mortality, sooner mortality, dying sooner, and also increased risk of heart disease and cancer. That was a mainstream, big, unbiased study, not done by vegans, so that's why you wouldn't feed your kid eggs. Alyse eats meat and fish and eggs right now with little vegetables at all. I just want to say that as a fact. I find that crazy. But she's trying something new. Bobby said that a vegan diet is only carbohydrates. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. How could you build muscle? How could there be Nimai Delgado and John Venus and tons of vegan bodybuilders who are less big than those guys, who are definitely not on steroids, who also build muscle? And it's just a fact that plants have protein and fat. So when he says things like plants are only carbs, it's just it's uncredible for him as someone to listen to because he's clearly biased. And Alyse feels best excluding plants. And she admits that she couldn't even name a vegan doctor. That shows how much research she did as a vegan. She just intuitively was eating plants and didn't do a lot of research and stuff like that. Bobby says he was shitting 6 times a day as a vegan. You clearly, it either doesn't work for your body, and I honor if our bodies are different, or you were just doing something wrong, man. I do not shit 16 times a day. I shit like 3 or 4 times a day. I got the dog deserves meat. Okay, environmentally, very passionate about that. I got my degree at Colorado College. It's a very good private university in the United States. I got my degree in environmental policy and science. And he said, oh, well, this is first the ethical thing. He said, one cow, you kill a cow and it can feed a family for a long time. Or you kill a wild animal and it can feed a family for a long time. Versus on a vegan diet, you're eating grains and stuff and you're killing tons of rodents and things in the grain combine process. There is some truth to this. Yes and no. His point isn't good, but I'll say where the truth is. Here's the diet that is better than a vegan diet. Well, better than a commercially produced vegan diet. The healthiest and most ethical diet in the world, in my opinion, is if you lived on a fruit farm, grew 100% of your own food, like mangoes, papayas, bananas, then had a greenhouse and had potatoes, and you even grew some beans and stuff like that, which you can 100% do, and guess what? In January 2021, when I'm done with this trip, I'm gonna go do that because I'm not bullshitting. I wanna be zero waste. I wanna be sustainable. I do not wanna contribute to the industrial food system because it's not as sustainable as growing your own food, and I'm gonna do it as a vegan. That is the most ethical diet, period, to not contribute to the industrial food system and to not kill animals. But what diet could be better than a diet like mine where I'm traveling, I eat beans from the grocery store, rice from the grocery store, it's being transported? If you hunted 2 or 3 large game animals like deer or elk or moose per year, and you grew all your vegetables and you contributed 0 to the industrial food system, you never ate beans, you never ate rice from the grocery store, you never ate anything from a grocery store, and you killed a couple of animals per year to eat, that diet, my friends, is more ethical than my vegan diet. I will be honest about that. But how many of you watching this are going to be a carnivore and only, period, eat the few animals that you kill per year? My guess is less than 99 or less than 0.001%. It's just not as realistic. But if you want to do it, I support you. It's just not going to happen. Does that make sense? I'm almost done. Oh, and by the way, 60% of the plant agriculture that's killing with the combines and deforesting land, which I agree, 60% of the wheat, corn, and soy and things like that grown in the world and in the United States is not being eaten by plant eaters, you fuck. And I say fuck just because it's fun for stream of thought. You're not an actual fuck. You're probably a good guy. It's just how I roll. Okay, camera just died. I have a couple more points. It's almost done, so I'm going to continue here on my phone. So the vast majority of the plant agriculture, which is devastating to the environment. It is deforesting wild land so that we just have to grow monocrops. It takes a good amount of water and it's displacing the wildlife. Chemicals are used in a lot of this. It's no good. Big plant agriculture is no good. But it's big plant agriculture, a majority of it, is not going to vegans eating plants. 60% goes to feed grain, to feed animals so that people can eat meat. So when you're driving and you see a big field of corn and soy and you see no wild plants and it's deforested the land and it's bad news, just think about people eating Big Macs and burgers. That is not because vegans need to eat corn. You fuck. It's so misleading, and he clearly knows that, and he's using that point. It's so ridiculous. After the 60%, I believe it's another 20% of all the corn and soy and plant agriculture, corn specifically in this case, goes to ethanol, which is a product for gasoline. And then the next like 10 or whatever percent is left goes to processed foods, like highly processed breads and pastries and Twinkies, most of which also has animal product ingredients in it. Again, not for vegans. And then that leaves less than probably 5% of the plant agriculture, which is deforesting land in the United States and in the world, going to vegans or anyone just eating vegetables. So it's so misleading to say that because combines kill animals like bugs and little calves and birds, to say that's because there are vegans in the world and people eating plants is the most misleading, factually untrue point ever. And I know for a fact that if you're just a regular person who eats meat, or if you're even on a carnivore diet and you eat some food that is either grass-fed, which, let me talk about this. Grass-fed animals, let's not even talk about wild animals, which is the most ethical way to eat your meat if you want to eat meat, but grass-fed, you have to honor that because of the amount of land it takes in order to produce grass-fed animals, you can produce so many more calories of plants on the plot of land it would take to raise one grass-fed animal. You can grow more calories of plants, which is more land efficient, which means you need less land devoted to that cow, and you could revert more land to the wild ecosystem, which is what we all want for sustainability. And this means that because of the amount of land it takes in order to produce that grass-fed animal, simply put, if we wanted to cut out factory farming and everyone who wanted to eat animal products ate grass-fed, there would literally, I don't know the exact number, but more or less, only about 1, 2, 5% of the population could eat those grass-fed animals. And everyone else would have to be vegan because we simply don't have the land in the current populated world, especially in the United States and globally, in order to feed the demand for grass-fed animals if we wanted everyone to eat these grass-fed animals that you claim are the healthiest food and is gonna fix the world system of health and sustainability. It's completely ridiculous. If everyone wanted to eat grass-fed animals and we increased the amount of grass-fed agriculture, we would have to tear down every city, tear down every forest, tear down every house, and revert everything to pasture for grass-fed animals, making sure it's still recording. So it is so ridiculous to say that the solution is grass-fed animals. It is elitist. Only a small portion of the world could eat grass-fed animals still to this day. And if everyone started eating it, or more people started eating it, we'd have a lot more vegans, because if we took down factory farming and the only meat out there was grass-fed, 1, because of the price, 2, because of the amount of land. So it's just not a good point. I'm on my phone now, so I can't look at my notes. The other points that were made were sex drive. Alyse said she lost her sex drive and she identified as a gray. I don't even want to get into it. If you identify as something with your sexuality or gender identity or whatever, I am fully in support of you. But she just said something quite interesting about her sexuality before. But essentially all it meant is that she only was sexually aroused by people if she had emotional connection. I'll be the first to admit that when I had an eating disorder and I was very underweight, this was 4 years ago, my first 2 years as a vegan, I developed the eating disorder before I went vegan. I then went vegan for ethical and health reasons and had my eating disorder for 2 years. I am now healthy and don't have my eating disorder as much. Just like alcoholism or any recovery, you're never fully recovered. It's always a process, but I got it under control for the most part and live happily and healthy. She said she lost her sex drive and that the next day that she ate salmon, she got her sex drive back. I lost my sex drive, as I said, when I was not eating enough calories and not changing the types of food I ate, but simply eating more calories. I can say with confidence, my friends, that for the last 4 years, I have had a very large sex drive and I've had very beautiful sexual experiences with many, many women. Actually, not too many, but many women. And I perform great. I have great sexual energy, and I don't only need to be sexual with someone like Alyse was before with emotional connection. I am a normal sexually functioning human, and when I see someone that sexually arouses me, I get aroused and I perform well and all that. And then lastly, this is my last point, is Bobby said that veganism is destroying the environment, and his solution is his carnivore diet. I just don't even know where to begin. The smartest, this is anecdotal, it's just random, I'm just stream of thought here. Factually, the smartest woman in my whole program in college, in the environmental science program, she wrote an amazing, she's a vegan, amazing public speaker, great cognition. By the way, some of the smartest people were vegan and plant-based. Freaking Einstein was plant-based, and I just think it's, and so yeah, my friend Gabby, shout out Gabby Palco, she was the smartest person, most dedicated, motivated in my whole program. She was a vegan, pretty long term, super fit, and wrote her whole thesis on animal agriculture, which she researched for 2 years and came to the conclusion that we will never get a hold on climate change and reducing our carbon emissions if we continue to fuel the demand for animal products as we do today. Studies show that by 2048, and this is all just from my head that I keep in my mind with my great mental cognition as a vegan, without any salmon or eggs or raw dairy or fucking butter, which my friends are eating butter. They said in this video, Bobby said he eats butter like candy bars. You know, they think this is healthy, so it's just anecdotal for me to say, like, how crazy are they? But that's how I feel. The most mainstream, well-documented science shows that things high in saturated fat and dietary cholesterol increase risks of heart disease, and all of them will say, no, 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 those studies are wrong. They've been proven wrong. There's new studies and data. These YouTubers who have no legitimate, credible nutritional education are touting their theories from their research that all of these previous theories that have been done by people who actually have medical degrees like Dr. Joel Kahn and Dr. Michelle McMacken and Dr. Garth Davis and Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn and Dr. Neil Barnard and so many of them who, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean. Alyse, I think you're smart. Bobby, I think you're very smart. I am also smart. But none of us are as smart as the vegan doctors that I just listed. It's just a fact. They're smarter. And they are vegan, and they have done it more research, and they are treating patients with heart disease and cancer, some of them on a daily basis, with the power of plants. And to say that their research is just not valid, and these carnivores who are body image obsessed YouTubers, I'm sorry, I love my body image too. I'm just stating facts. Doesn't make them a bad person. But Bobby, Alyse, and Drew are body image obsessed social media business people who don't have, and I am too. It doesn't make you bad. I'm not being a hater. I'm just stating the facts. And think about what some of these 40, 50, 6-year-old vegan doctors who have dedicated their life to objective nutritional research and are so much smarter than us, and who think that eggs, dairy, meat, fish increase overall mortality, increased risk of heart disease, increased risk of osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, diabetes, and it's a fact that you can cure type 2 diabetes on a low-fat, plant-based diet. I don't care what you say, because my friend Mindful Diabetic Robbie 100% has a business where he cures people of their type 2 diabetes within weeks off of a high-fruit, low-fat, vegan diet, also eating rice, beans, potatoes, etc. Go look him up. Mindful Diabetic Robbie, a fruitarian, high-sugar fruitarian for the last 11 years, I believe, who works out every day and was one of the healthiest type 1 diabetics, which is a genetic thing that no one's ever cured, so it doesn't make him unhealthy because he has diabetes. It's genetic, and no one's ever cured it, ever. It's different than type 2 diabetes, and he treats people and thrives off of his low-fat, vegan, high-fruit diet, high in sugar. So these people who say, and he's lean as fuck, so these people who say that sugar makes you fat, it's not even calories in, calories out. If you just eat carbohydrates, you're gonna be fat, and it also gives you diabetes. Oh no. Is it still recording? I hope it's still recording. You just can't trust them. Like, I'm so honest and objective. Some people are saying that people are having success treating type 2 diabetes, eating a carnivore diet. I think there's a possibility to that. I'm open to that. If you can show me that it's happened, it's happened. And I agree that if you felt terrible on a vegan diet and you started eating animal products and you felt great, I honor that that's your experience. I'm just sharing my experience. They're painting it with a broad brush. They're saying veganism is over, no vegans are having success. That's what they're saying. I'm not saying that about the carnivores. You guys are having success right now, but the longevity data is not in your favor. Show me the studies that show that a ketogenic, low-fat carnivore diet is good for reducing heart disease, cancer, osteoporosis, and Alzheimer's later in life. I haven't seen them. Put them in the link down below, but there's a lot of studies to show that on eating a low-fat, plant-based diet. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Hope it's still recording. Please leave your thoughts and criticisms and anything down below. I'm here at my Airbnb. If you have a YouTube channel, whether it's vegan, paleo, keto, carnivore, I don't care whether it's big or small. I would love to be on your YouTube channel to talk about some of this stuff and to share my experience as a thriving vegan athlete cycling around the world on a plant-based diet. I'm happy to discuss. I'm all love. You're my friend. I don't care what you eat, but we gotta just share this information to get the truth out there to the world. So message me, DM me on Instagram. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And if you want to interview me or have me on your channel, do it. If you're interested in learning about my lifestyle and doing yoga with me and meditation and eating super healthy, I am hosting a retreat in Costa Rica at an Airbnb this summer in August. All the links to that stuff are down below. I offer monthly accountability partner coaching. If you want to hear more about that, if you're struggling with eating disorders, struggling with not meditating consistently, you want to lose some weight, you want to gain some weight, a variety of things. You want to get your life back in charge and you're inspired by what I do, I offer accountability partner coaching where we talk on a daily basis through Facebook Messenger and once a month face-to-face on Facebook chat, video, or phone in order to come up with daily habits that we implement and check in on in order to keep you accountable to do your best self. It's currently sold out, but on a month-to-month basis, some people might drop out if they're good and more opportunities will come in. So it's currently sold out. It's had amazing success. I'll have some of my clients, whatever you want to call them, or friends, check in and do some testimony videos. So all the links to that stuff are down below, to everything, to the retreat, to the videos, accountability partner program, and everything is on plantriotic.com shop page. I think it's /shop. And much love, Dream Extreme. Let me know what you think about this video down in the comments. Let's discuss. Peace.